Hi, this is Nick George with Clouds Diamond Sharpening. Just gonna make a video on how to find a good sharpener, whether it's me or somebody else. I just find a lot of sharpeners just opening up mobile sharpening and just starting a business because they think it's easy. First of all, if a sharpener says this job is easy, then you may not want to use him. Because first of all, there's a lot of things going on, a lot of things I'm checking while I'm sharpening, while I'm servicing your clipper. You're gonna want to know, things like how long they've been in business. So I've been in business 9 years. I've been doing this for over 25 years. I stopped counting at 25. Their training. It doesn't really matter who trained them because there's no, regulations or anything. It's really their hands-on experience. So training could be good and it could get you into the business better, but you have to have a want to be able to fix things and try to figure it out to make it work. So like the first red flag you'd want to look for when finding a sharpener is if the sharpener says he doesn't repair any clippers, okay? So that's a big red flag for me. I would not use that service. I'm just saying that because 50% of a sharp blade and how good it cuts has to do with 50% of the blade sharpening and 50% of how the clipper runs. If the clipper does not run at 100%, which you see me say a lot in all my videos, because it's very important. If the clipper is not traveling fully, then it's going to leave little lines. And you can have a sharp blade, it won't pull hair, but it's going to leave lines and you're going to have to go over it a bunch of time. And then the blade gets hotter because it has to run longer and your job takes longer and you don't make as much money. And it's, not pleasurable to the animal or human, I'm sure. Because dull blades hurt animals and people. They give you razor burn, they pull your hair. You don't want any of that. You'll want to know what they specialize in sharpening, for example. So I specialize in sharpening anything that has to do with hair. So I can sharpen a knife, but it's not my main one to give to the customer. I want to give them nice grooming equipment. For example, if they only do stylish shears, okay, you might not want to get your clipper blade sharpened through them if that's not their main business, because they're different sharpeners. Now I sharpen stylish shears, I sharpen grooming equipment, animal grooming equipment, barbers, etc., stylists, all of it. You're gonna want to see what kind of guarantee they give. So like we don't give money back guarantee, but we do warranty our work. So if you do have a dull blade, we will for sure resharpen it if you do not use it because it wasn't usable. I can't tell how long a blade will last. I could tell if it's sharp, but how long it lasts depends on the sharpening wheel of the sharpener and his pressure he puts on the wheel, the amount of tension on a blade. So if you could ask a sharpener, what's a good tension to have a clipper blade? If they're, I would say above 3 pounds, I wouldn't use them. Because for example, a 3, 4, 5 pound blade that's pressed together with that much force, then it's gonna tear your clipper up. So every time you pop a blade on and it's so hard to move, that clipper's gonna move it. And then it's gonna break stuff faster, it's gonna run hotter, and another big red flag is if a sharpener says you don't need to use oil. I've heard sharpeners say that before. I don't know why they say it, because every blade needs oil, whether you like it or not. It has to be done. I have customers that do not oil, and that is totally up to you, okay? But what that means is your clipper is going to have a lot harder time moving that blade. The blade's going to get hotter. The clipper is going to start breaking expensive parts like bearings. You don't want broken bearings. You know, if you oil your blade all the time and you have about 2 pounds of pressure on your clipper blade, it will, I mean, I don't know if you would ever have to replace anything besides the hinge that holds the blade and the drive that moves the blade, or lever. And you know, in every 6 months or so, you're going to want to get your clipper cleaned out. So if you get a sharpener that pulls up mobilely, he has no experience, he doesn't fix clippers, like, I wouldn't use him. I'm not saying they're all going to be bad, but just in general, if I didn't fix clippers, I would have horrible reviews, and I would have a lot of repeats, because the clipper can't drive the blade correctly. So already it doesn't matter how sharp it is, you know. You're gonna want to, you know, ask their turnaround. You know, if it's 2 weeks, either they're really slow or they're not very good, or, you know, maybe they just got a lot of business. I don't know, but I would never have a 2-week turnaround. I would never, you know, expect that for someone to wait that long, especially for their tools. You can ask what they sharpen on. So if they sharpen on a block, big red flag, don't do it. You're wasting your money. Anyone can sharpen on a block. I can sharpen on a block. I can teach you how to sharpen on a block. The reason I don't do it is because it's not quality. It's like a spare tire. When you change a spare tire on your car, you can drive on it for like 50 miles or something, whatever it says. But you don't want to use that tire forever, because eventually it's not going to last as long as a real tire. And that's how sharpening is, okay? So blades have a shape, and then they are pushed down and they pinch on both sides of the blade. So that's what we want. If it doesn't have the shape and is completely flat, well, when a blade is flat, it will cut for minimal. I mean, I can't say for sure, but it will cut, you know, maybe one day, maybe, if you're lucky. And why that is because it has no shape. So the teeth end up folding out like this, and it starts pulling hair in between these cracks. Okay? So when it has shape, it's pushed down, and then the spring pushes the cutter down, and then it makes connection. And then as this middle part is hollowed out like this, it goes, and then all of a sudden it's flat, and then the next day it's dull. That's how it works. Okay, so you don't want to use a flat block to sharpen blades. I know people say, oh, it's a conspiracy theory or whatever. Trust me, just try a flat block, which I hope you don't, because you could ruin your blade by rounding the teeth or anything. But if you decide to, you know, prove this theory, then try it, and then send it here and tell me what lasts longer. And I guarantee 100% the wheel will last longer. You can ask a sharpener, you know, maybe, how often do you get your wheel resurfaced? Now, it's not important how often he gets it resurfaced. It's just important he does get it resurfaced, because wheels go flat. The shape of the wheel, it carves out the middle of the blade, so all the teeth pinch down. Okay, so when a wheel is spinning and I'm, you know, carving all these blades out, eventually that goes away, and then my wheel becomes flat, and then It doesn't matter how good of a sharpener you are. I can get them to cut, but how long is it gonna last? Not very long at all, I promise. And so when I test my wheel every so often, and then when I check every single blade, okay, it's a real time killer for me to check every single blade, but it's important to me that you get your equipment working at 100% when you get it back. So that's a guarantee I do, okay? I guarantee blades sharp, and I will redo them if you don't use them. But the problem is, or not a problem, the positive or whatever of it is you get blades sharp every time you use my services, because we test every blade. It's very important to me that we do that. And like my uncle, he's a great sharpener. He don't test one blade, but he's mobile, so he can just drive back to the shop if he has a problem. I don't recommend that. I'm not saying you're a bad sharpener if you don't test your blades, but I'm saying I do make mistakes. Let's say I sharpen 100 blades. There's liable to be probably one that I'll have to resharpen because I checked the quality of it. If you ever get a blade that has, so this is a big deal to me too, because grit or diamond, whatever structure you use to shape the blade, it will leave like if you leave it on there, it'll start turning black. And what that is the metal grinding itself and the grit or sandblasting dust that is in between the blades. So if you ever get blades back from us, for example, you'll never see that black stuff. Oil does help it, but you want to make sure the sharpener's cleaning your blades correctly. You don't want that stuff on there because it could ruin your blade. Usually it doesn't, but depending on how long you use it, it could. And you don't want that black stuff. We check for it, two times, 3 times to make sure it's gone. And if we ever see any, then we resharpen them. Now, other sharpening companies might have different processes, but what I'm saying is if you're getting blades back and they have black stuff on the running surfaces, then you might want to think about getting a new sharpener. It's very important. Back to training. They can have a certificate. It doesn't make them good sharpeners. I've trained so many people in my time, and there's just some people that never get a grasp of what to do. And that's why I might start training just to get some good sharpeners out there, but I don't want to have to, tell them they're not going to pass, because if they can't sharpen, then I won't pass them. So some sharpening schools are like corrupt colleges, and they will just pass you if you give them the money. They just will give you a certificate. I'm not saying all of them. I'm saying some of them are like that, and they're like corrupt colleges. I don't even know if they know how to sharpen, and they're just handing out certificates. But that's another story. I think customer reviews are important. Now, just because a company has low customer reviews doesn't mean they're a bad sharpener. Maybe they're just bad at communicating. I don't know. So read the comments. Like, if you went to our reviews, they're good, right? Because I want to do 100% of my job the best of my knowledge. So I don't let anything go out here that I think is gonna make me look bad or make you look bad. I want us both to be happy and I want your equipment to last the longest it can. You can ask them what's the difference between barber equipment or dog animal grooming equipment. And if they don't know the differences, then they probably have no knowledge of it. So I would tell you, I guess I can. So, you know, the difference between barber equipment and animal equipment usually runs faster. It has more hair to go through. It has a longer cord because they have to walk around the animal, and a lot more hair. They generally have a latch on the hinge, so it latches the blade down instead of just like pressure sensitive like a barber. The difference between the blades are not much difference at all. They do have different numbers on them, but the sizes are generally almost identical. You can basically almost line them all up. Like a 40 blade is, I think, like a 3/0 blade, or maybe a 5/0. No, a 5/0 blade is like a 50. So anyway, it's really not that important, but it is good if they know that kind of stuff. Sharpeners are going to make mistakes. So, I mean, just because you get one bad blade from a sharpener doesn't mean he's bad or anything. It just means, you know, he missed one. But if you keep getting repeat of redos and stuff like that, he might be damaging your equipment because he doesn't know what he's doing. You know, I have some customers that have been a customer for 20 years and they've never said nothing has ever not worked. Never. They keep using me. So now these mobile sharpeners are going around, and you know, they may come in and say, yeah, we'll do a blade for you for cheap, and you know, you're probably gonna try them, and that's fine. But you know, if he doesn't ask about your clipper, that's a big red flag. Get out of there, because there's not a place I would go when I did mobile with my dad that we would go and we would not ask them how their clipper is. It's very important. Like, you could be the best in the world and no blade will ever cut with a busted clipper. It's just not gonna happen. And you know, generally try to stay away from home grooming things, and you know, you want to get stuff that can be repaired, and because they're expensive, you know, like what are they, like $200, $150 to $400 or $500 clippers, and if they don't have parts available, especially if you're spending that much money, red flag. Okay, that's horrible. Watch out. But we're talking about sharpeners. So I hope I helped you with this sharpening video. If you have any questions about your sharpener, just give us a comment. Use our services if you want. We fix all clippers. We can fix any clipper in the world with a part. If I need parts and I can get them, I can fix it. It doesn't matter. I love the challenge. Send it on to me. Even a clipper another sharpener can't fix, maybe I can fix it for you. We sharpen clipper blades, wide, ceramic, wall 5-in-1, and is 5-in-1, Kinshi 5-in-1. Another thing, now that I mention it, is if you're looking for a good sharpener, he should know all these things. He should know what to do. But anyway, so we sharpen convex scissors, semi-convex scissors, we do ride lines, we use diamond wheel, and we use the basic wheel that almost every sharpener has. Yeah, so send it on today and we'll get it serviced for you, or if you have a mobile sharpener around and you have some questions about his quality, you can ask it and we can tell you the problem. Thank you for this wonderful adventure. Hope to see you soon, and leave those comments, and please subscribe and hit that like button, and we'll see you later. you.